Hi, I'm Dave Summers. Welcome back to episode 11 of the greatest supply chain challenge in history, global distribution of the COVID-19 vaccines. I'm here once again with my friend and mentor, Sandy Vosk. Sandy is owner and founder of Advantage Technology Solutions. Sandy, what do you want to talk about today on episode 11?
Well, first of all, good morning and welcome. And today's session number 11 is the whole focus is planning. And I'm dedicating this session to a great friend and mentor who passed away this year, Randolph Craft, who was an artist. He was a teacher, taught in the global accelerated business schools for entrepreneurs, and was a master planner. Taught me more about planning than I ever understood, and still am learning from his principles. So yeah, that's the dedication for today. So how you like my outfit?
Kennedy Original Gear, Kennedy Space Center, NASA. Sweet. I'm a gigantic NASA fan. I'm totally in the tank for NASA. As a kid growing up, I watched the astronauts walk on the moon. Big Neil Armstrong fan. I was completely in the tank.
Well, honestly, I'm also a NASA buff. Followed them from the very beginning. You know, I remember the chills I had seeing John Glenn's capsule in the Museum of Natural History. But one of the greatest joys I had was a couple of years ago with going with my father, who was a truck driver,
Uh-huh.
and why I always say I was born into the supply chain industry, and going to Kennedy Space Center with him, and actually have photo of him in the cockpit of the shuttle, which is just amazing. And just so, NASA, they're the epitome of, I think, perfect planning. What would you say?
Oh my goodness, yes. There's no way they could have achieved what they did without plans. And not only at a national level, but as a almost civilization or society level. Unbelievable execution of a great plan. So I'm totally on board with NASA being awesome at planning. Absolutely.
It's precision planning, like Navy SEAL like planning. And so, let's go into today and how this relates to our theme. So, globally, we're now up to 458 million doses, which is great. And now in 134 countries. And that number grew substantially in a week. That rate is now 11.3 million doses a day, which is good, but it's only 3% of the global population. In the US, 127 million doses, and that's now 2.4, almost 2.5 million a day. Good, but I think yesterday we might have gotten much higher, even close to 3 million. But even here, we're only 25% of the population with one dose and 13 and a half with two doses. So, and my opinion is a lot of the reason is planning or a lack of planning from the get-go. Operations Warp Speed, you hardly even hear of it anymore, truthfully. The plan was limited to distribution to the state level. It was not a complete plan for the program, for the project. And there have been inaccuracies in capacity and distribution data that plagued it, and certainly the Biden administration. But it was also run as a logistics project and not as a vaccine immunization project run by the military, which had advantages, but also some disadvantages in that information education was minimized and really hurt by disinformation and challenging scientific data and health experts. So, I think that's been, we're looking to move from that. In terms of capacity planning, we're in a much better position now, certainly because of the strategic investments by the president. And I was surprised to find out when I was doing research for today, we now have a total of 7 vaccines available for public use globally. It was good news yesterday on AstraZeneca in the US, more promising news. So that's good news from capacity. Demand planning, I think we still have ways to go in communication down to local levels and scheduling appointments. That's still nowhere near where the end users would like it to be, certainly in meeting demand of all age groups, not this, limited approach. So that's from the vaccine perspective. From a company perspective, I would say, some companies don't even have documented. A plan is a document not something in your mind, but a physical document
Hmm.
demonstrating it. And so in companies, there are business plans, there are strategic plans. And where
Hmm.
I'm heavily involved is in technology and automation, in terms
Hmm.
of helping companies plan for and leverage the skyrocketing growth in technology and e-commerce.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
takes planning, not just shot in the dark approach.
Hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Well, I've worked for many organizations, small and kind of medium sized, where they run the whole operation based on Excel spreadsheets. You know what I mean? It's kind of nerve wracking there, and they don't really put a great deal of time and effort in an annual plan or a monthly plan, and it's pretty frightening. It's you know how good can that be? You know, I'm not sure I'm on board with that type of thinking.
And it goes back to our you're only as strong as your weakest link. Sometimes
Right.
executives don't even realize there's inaccuracies in that data that they're making critical decisions on. So, that kind of leads us to our three questions for the week.
Hmm.
And I think, the first one, do you have documented plans for your business?
Hmm.
And if not, that's something perhaps you should consider.
Hmm.
And as we complete, the second question is, as we complete the first quarter, we're at the end of Q1 of 2021 already, believe it or not, are you on target? And what needs to change if you're not on target and why? You might have been on target with your own goals and been substantially impacted by all the supply chain issues we've been raising in recent weeks, which are going to continue to be ripples of. I heard this
Hmm.
morning there's going to be shortages in computer chips, for example. So think about what
Hmm.
that's going to mean. And the third question is, going back to I like it, the personal, right?
Hmm.
Separating it from the business. What's your number one concern today? And do you have a plan to address it?
Right.
Whether that's, financial, um, how do I come back to normalcy, whatever that
Hmm.
was for you, post pandemic? And I do
Hmm.
think it takes planning. It's not just matter of fact thinking. What's your thoughts on that last one?
Oh, I couldn't agree more. As you know, I'm just a recent small business person myself, and I've already spent some time thinking about what my annual plan is, what my quarterly plan is, both from a marketing and from an expense standpoint. So it is important. I see the value of
Absolutely.
it. I see the
Absolutely.
power. You know.
So we end with that, and we agreed with taking next week off to
Yes.
plan.
Plan. We're going to plan. Exactly. Listen, you can reach Sandy at his email address, which is at the bottom part of the page here. If you have any questions about supply chain management or the questions he's asked here today or other topics you'd like to see him cover, um, don't hesitate. He's not shy, and he'll be glad to reach out to you and help you out. So, Sandy, going to take a week off to plan. I want to wish our audience a good week off as well.
Thank you. You too, Dave. Have a great day.
Have a good one.